I'm often asked the question of how many people are in prison who shouldn't be. The figure that I come to is around about 25%. Other people may say it's a little bit less, but I'll then split that into two categories. Maybe 15% who shouldn't be there at all, they've committed no offence. The other 10%, I'd say it's a case of the police know that they're up to no good and they'll get them at any cost.
The first thing that you need in any criminal case is a good lawyer. Good lawyers are few and far between at this stage of our legal development because of the withdrawal of public funds. It's as simple as that.
The erosion of legal aid is disastrous. It is leading to miscarriages of justice. There isn't enough money for defence solicitors to be defending the clients properly.
Solicitors now compete for contracts to represent people, which means, of course, that it's going to be the lowest bidder who wins the contract.
You used to genuinely be able to say to somebody they would get an equal service whether they were legally aided or whether they were privately funded. You absolutely can't say that anymore.
How would you like to go on trial and discover that the person who's representing you has never done a case like that before, or in fact is incompetent?
The police are being underfunded also, so they are not in a position now to actually investigate consistently whether a client is potentially innocent.
In my opinion, the legal system of this country, when operated properly, which means funding it, is fantastic. The moment you try to save money, you are courting disaster. And miscarriages of justice are real. They happen. Wrongly convicted people have nowhere to go.
How bad can miscarriages of justice be? Well, you can have clients sat in prison doing 32 years for an offence they haven't committed. It could be your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad, your son, your daughter.
One good example is Suzanne Holdsworth, a client of mine who was convicted of the murder of a child she was looking after. She was cleared on appeal as a result of fresh expert evidence, but sent back for a retrial. After the retrial, she was acquitted unanimously by the jury.
You will lose your family, your friends, certainly lost your job, you will lose your house, you will have nothing to come out to, absolutely nothing.
She has no support, no compensation, nobody's ever apologised for what's happened to her.
There's even people who've been successful on appeals who've been in prison 1 minute and then told that they need to be out within 30 minutes and given a train pass just to go home. Go home to what? There's nothing there for them. They get little or no help and their life is completely destroyed. There are figures out there as well which will suggest that these people's life expectancy isn't going to be as high. They never get over it.
I think it becomes even more serious because as soon as the public realise that this affects people being convicted as well as being acquitted, then they'll wake up. We want guilty people convicted and we want innocent people acquitted. That's the foundation of the system, and I'm afraid to say that it's starting to fall apart.